heat exchanger. Oh yeah, she is pretty dirty. So in this one here, one of our plumbers was dispatched out to this Rinnai water heater because I forget what the code was, but it came back that it basically needed to be cleaned. So it's got a little bit of blockage in the heat exchanger here. We're going to clean that up. We're going to get it flushed out, and we're going to get this water heater working back the way it should. So take a look. All right, we have a Rinnai. I believe it's a RL. What do we got? RL94i. I actually put this water heater in, I don't know, 6-7 years ago in almost an emergency situation. They had another tankless here, can't remember the brand name, but it wasn't a very popular one. Couldn't get parts for it right away, and had like a bad board and some other stuff, and couldn't get parts for it right away. She would have been days without hot water, so she said take that out, put me a new one in. So that's what we did, and we're just going to service it today. It hasn't been serviced since then, so we're going to get it apart. We're going to clean it up, flush it, and make sure she's good to go. Let's get going. It's kind of in like a super weird area. There's like this platform here where they have their water treatment system and where they feed their cat and stuff, but yeah, I kind of have to like get up on this platform. It's a weird situation, but we're gonna get her done. Let's get this cover. We can get a good indication of how dirty this heat exchanger is gonna be by pulling this igniter. Yikes. This thing is falling apart. The top of it all. I popped the top off so we can have a look in the heat exchanger. Oh yeah, she is pretty dirty. Shit. I'm gonna show you guys how I do this so I don't have to break the whole thing down. I'm going to blow some nitrogen in from both ends, and I'm just going to suck it out with the shop vac. So, because that white stuff in there, that stuff, if it gets in you, it's not very pleasant. So. See how we're looking now. It's a lot better. A whole lot better. If we can see up in here. Yep, it's better. So we'll go ahead and just vacuum it out a little more. Make sure we're good to go, and then we'll start our flush. All right, so we're gonna start our flush now. And while it's flushing, we'll put all this back together. But we have two hoses here. I've got a full video on how to flush a Rinnai water heater. I'll try to link it if I remember to. But this is how I'm doing it. I have a washing machine hose. Make sure you use stainless steel or plastic. If you use anything other than stainless or plastic or brass, this will tarnish and it will rust and it won't last very long. So I have washing machine hose here and then an open end one here, because this is just going to be my return line. So when my pump goes in here, I'll put it in. It's going to pump it into the cold side and then back out the hot side. So we're going to be shutting, actually, is this valve upside down? We're gonna have to flip this around. All right, yeah, well, this valve is definitely upside down, so we have to flip that around before we do anything. So, not sure how it made it upside down, but we're gonna get that flipped over. Don't think it's that big a deal to flip that bad boy over. That's crazy. So we're gonna drain down right now and we'll flip that around. All right, I'm just checking. I got it flipped around, just checking for leaks real quick, and then I'll shut it back down. The funny thing about this is I may have actually put that valve in upside down when I installed this water heater, unless somebody took it off and put it back on later after I put it in, which I highly doubt. But so yeah, 7 years ago, I installed the cold water flush valve upside down. That's all right, we got her switched around now. Big shout out to Megalock. I was at a trade show the other day and they gave us a couple rolls of this stuff. Works pretty good. I usually use the Blue Monster, but this stuff works just as good. So, all right, let's get it turned back off, drain down, and we'll start this flush. So like I said before, we're gonna cut this guy. Now that it's installed right, we can make sure our hoses are in our buckets. We don't want any water coming out. And we're gonna open this guy, oops, just like that. I'm batting 1,000 today, guys. Batting 1,000 today. So let's open the cold first. Slowly. Get that drain down. Oh boy. Now we'll open this guy slowly and get it drained down. Guys, look at me. Oh man. All right. All right, with that drain down, we're gonna pull this screen first and foremost, just to make sure there's no sediment in there, because we want that cleaned out before we even get started. And then after the flush, we're gonna clean it out too and see if we caught anything. Be careful with this screen though, because it is very fragile, the plastic on it is. Here's our screen now that I got it good and loose. There's a little bit of sediment in there. Make sure we clean that out. Alright, we got our screen back in. We are almost ready to start flushing this baby. I'm gonna show you what I'm using today. I'm using this stuff today. It's by Quick Products, the Quick Descaler Plus. You can use white vinegar too. I use white vinegar also, but today I'm using this stuff. You can put this in there and use 5 parts water and unique color indicating chemistry turns yellow when more concentrated descaling solution is needed. So it starts out red. If it turns yellow, you know you got to put some more in. We're going to start out with 5 parts water, one bottle of this, and then we'll go from there. This is the pump I'm using. It's just a submersible pump. This is made by Bomgi. They actually sent me this pump a few months ago. Works really well. I've been using it for all my flushing duties. This is a 1/3 horsepower. It'll move 2,250 gallons per minute. Pulls 4 amps. I have a breakdown review video of this. I'll try to link it or put it down in the description if I can find it. Great pump, really good pump, really pumps its ass off. So this is the pump I've been using for the past few months, and it hasn't let me down yet. So good pump. If you want one, check down in the description. All right, so before we turn our pump on, we'll review how we're set up here. So with both of our water inlet and outlet off, both of our flush valves open, our braided hose going to our cold side is going to our pump, the outlet of our pump, and then we just have a line right here just as our return line dropping back into the bucket. This doesn't have to be one like this. You can have another washer machine hose, but this doesn't connect to anything on the other end. It just drops right into your bucket as a return. Now when you start this thing up, it might try to blow this hose out, so just make sure it's good and secure until it starts going, and then possibly secure it to something inside the bucket. But you have to just be cognizant of that before you start it up. All right, so we're about to start this baby up now and get her pumping. All right, you can see she is off to the races and pumping. It's really mixing that chemical up right now. We're just gonna make sure our return line isn't gonna come out of there any kind of way. And we're gonna let her pump for 30, 40 minutes, maybe even an hour, depending on how dirty this solution comes back. So let's let her go. While we're letting it pump, we're gonna put the igniters and all back in. We do have a quote in, we're not doing it today though. That recirc pump right there is bad, so we're going to be replacing that. Another technician came and looked at it, one of our plumbers. He's going to replace that. He's going to do some other stuff too, but when we come back to do that, we're going to put a new set of igniters on it also. But today we're just cleaning it up and flushing it. Wow, it's not even red anymore. It turned yellow pretty, or actually it looks more clear than anything. So I'm gonna pour another, and I've really only been going for like 5 minutes here. I'm gonna pour some more solution in there. About 20 minutes now, and it is turning a little more yellow. We're going to let it keep going now. This thing must be pretty dirty. We're going to let it keep going with what it's got right now. Alright, we've been going for about 30 minutes, 40 minutes now. I'm about to turn it off and we'll flush all that chemical out of there. It really hasn't changed much in color since I checked on it about 15 minutes ago. It does have a little bit of a yellowish tint to it, but I think we're good. I think that's probably about as clean as we're going to get it. So we're going to turn the pump off and flush all our chemical out. All right, I already flushed it a little bit, but we're going to flush it a little bit more to try to get all that solution out of there. So basically I have my cold flush valve closed. Everything's closed except my hot flush valve. That is open, which is going to be this guy. So I'm going to hold that in the bucket while I just barely crack my cold water inlet, this guy here, and let it push. Making sure we flush all that chemical out of there before we turn it back on to the rest of the house. And then we're going to run it inside for a little while too. just about all back together. So we're gonna turn our hot on, cold on too. And then with it off, I'm gonna go inside and run the hot water for a couple minutes. Yeah, we're just gonna let this run. We have a little utility sink here. Hi guys, look at them. Look at them, they're good guys. Yeah, look at them, they're so good. They're good puppies. Just gonna let that run for a few minutes, making sure we get it, any chemical that's in there, we wanna make sure we get out. All right, we are running now, buddy. Blew that heat exchanger out. We want to make sure we burn all that stuff off there. They got a ladder in front of this door, but it's all right. I'm not necessarily worried about seeing the termination, but she is set for 125. It looks like it's burning pretty good in there, though. Looks peachy indeed. All right, we're gonna button it all back up, then we're going to test it again just to make sure it comes on every time. We should be good to go, guys. As we're cleaning up here, one thing I want you guys to remember, because this homeowner is not home right now, they are away, and you can see we made a mess here. We got water. You want to make sure you clean that water up, because if a homeowner comes home and sees water that is spilt, they're going to think they have a leak. So we're going to want to make sure we clean all, if not all, most of that water up. Definitely make sure there's no water pooled there, because I got called back to a customer's house before because they thought they had a leak just because I left some water sitting. So I want to make sure we get all that water, or at least most of it, cleaned up. If the board's wet or whatever, that's one thing, but you want to make sure you have any standing water cleaned up. All right, guys, I'm gonna put down in the description all the stuff that I used in this video, the pump, the hoses, the solution, all that stuff I'm gonna put down in the description if you guys wanna get that stuff yourself. Like I said, I have another video where I have a full detail of doing a flush on a Rinnai system. It works on any tankless system, really. I'm gonna put that down in the description. So that's gonna be it for this one, guys. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.